We're A and Ambereen from Blanket Fort, and today we'll be playing Icarus, a storytelling game about how great civilizations fall. This is the first in a two-part series. In the second part, we will be playing The Quiet Year to find out what happens to the survivors of this civilization.
In this game, what we will be doing is using pillars that we've drafted at random from a deck of cards to construct a civilization that we're going to come up with in front of you right now. And basically, we're going to use this deck of cards right here. This deck has trials and tribulations that our civilization will have to survive, and then eventually using these dice, stacking up one on top of another, it will fall down inevitably.
Symbolising the downfall of our society.
Correct. The pillars that we have in front of us are artistic expression, agriculture, education, health, and religion. Because there's only two of us, we'll each be picking two pillars and then we'll be playing two characters just to make it a bit more interesting. Go ahead and pick one that sounds interesting to you.
I am gonna pick agriculture.
Sure. I am going to do artistic expression because it's interesting to me.
Sweet. I will do health.
Cool. And I don't want to deal with religion. So I will be doing education instead. We actually just have to find out what the civilization is. So this is your time to shine. Give us your best idea for a civilization.
It's a civilization that is like a boat city.
Ooh.
In the ocean. I think
In the ocean?
In the ocean.
So is it like a pirate boat or is it more a yacht?
I don't know what a yacht is, but like it's flat wooden beds that people build their houses on, so it's just a floating city essentially. But it's not. When I said boat city, I was wrong. It's just a floating wooden.
Just a floating wooden city.
Yes.
Nice.
That's
cool. I like that. Brilliant. Is it that Earth has become inhabitable and so they detach from there, or has Earth as we know it never existed and it's a fully fantasy world where cities are just built on water?
I think completely different place. Not Earth.
Yep.
But it's predominantly water, so it's the easiest way to, like, a lot of people do just live on the water. It's not all of them. This one does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Now we're going to have a look at our strengths and weaknesses and pick what seems reasonable to have as a weakness on this floating city.
So I think agriculture should be a strength because they can fish. And although, is that agriculture or is that just farming? But then maybe they farm like seaweed and
they farm seaweed.
They farm seaweed.
They can farm seaweed.
They can farm seaweed.
That's allowed.
They can have sea potatoes as well. I think health could be the weakness.
What is it about the city that makes health so hard?
They can't spread out easily. So some health issue becomes a big problem easily.
So what you mean is that you can't be confined. Confinement is not an option.
Yes, because it's just like there's all they get to the whole city floats towards land every so often where they can stop and get wood and stuff. But other than that, it's such a limited resource that they have to take up as little space as possible. So they have to be in each other's space a lot, and so just
very cool. And so in that case, education will be a strength and artistic expression will be a strength as well. Now we're going to read through what the strength is and build the first aspect cards for each of them. So go ahead, read agriculture, and then write on this piece of paper what it means for your city to be really good at agriculture.
So the strength is the supply of food within the city is abundant. What do people eat the most and why is it so prevalent here? I want sea potatoes. Sea potato farming and fishing.
What's a sea potato?
It's just something I've made up.
Wonderful.
It's just a potato that grows in the water on lattices they make themselves.
Very
cool. Grows up like vines.
Yeah. Sea potato farming. So is that instead of seaweed?
Yes.
Very cool.
I'm doubting how to spell potato. Potatoes. Put that over here and the aspect underneath.
For education, It says on here, the citizens of Icarus are held to the highest standards within the educational system. What subject or topic is seen as most important, and how has this manifested itself culturally? I feel like if you're going to be on a floating city, there's a level of like nautical engineering that needs to be extremely well developed, even if it is just a wooden structure, to maintain that level of steadiness throughout. It has to be engineeringly like sane. So I think that the largest thing in education is that they have like a gigantic nautical engineering school that is the most prestigious thing you can get to, and everyone in government has had to go through that to be able to get into government.
Okay,
cool.
I like it.
So I'm gonna put this here, and I'm gonna write nautical engineering academy, because that makes it even more important. Cool.
There's some British school politics you've touched on there.
I want to know about it.
It's fine,
I'm not
know
British.
about it.
Okay.
So then for health, which is the weakness, there is a deadly epidemic with no known cure being hidden from the public to avoid panic in the city. What is it, and how is it being quietly dealt with or covered up? My instinct was to say people are turning into fish, and I feel like that's not what we should go with.
I feel like this is perfectly what we should go with. People are turning into fish.
People are turning into
actually
fish.
Lovecraft is what this is.
It's called
the Fishies. It's not called the Fishies.
He's got the fishies. It's what's another word for fish? I don't know the names of fish.
Cod. Sardines.
Sardinitis.
Yep, we're calling it sardinitis.
Called sardinitis.
Yep.
And how is it being quietly dealt with or covered up? The people are going on fishing expeditions that are longer. So they're being sent on fishing expeditions that are longer so that they don't get seen to be increasingly...
And they never come back. So people have gone missing.
Yes.
Ooh,
so far it's just a few.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, it says a deadly epidemic, so I guess...
Yeah, so they never come back.
Yeah.
They die as fish in the sea.
Yes. Okay.
Or
There's plenty more, so...
Shut up.
So, sardinitis is being covered up by sending people out to sea. That's a lot to put on a card.
Sardinitis sent to sea.
Yeah.
And then the final one is artistic expression, which is an interesting choice to have as a strength on this boat. Icarus is known around the world for its unique forms of artistic expression. What are artists recognised for here, and what makes their work so unique?
I have an idea.
Oh, go ahead. Please. I'm struggling here.
I think people take like ropes that have been like underwater a lot, so they need to be swapped out because they're being to keep it repaired and stuff, and they've turned different shades of green from algae and stuff, and they turn those into landscapes. Because because the city moves and it floats around, they see loads of landscapes, so they turn this rope in different shades of green into landscapes.
So is it like huge woven mats, or is it more like small painting size?
When it gets to close to the time that they're going to go inland, they make smaller ones that they can sell to touristy people. But for themselves, it's like a thing to put on their wall, so they go for the bigger ones generally, and it's a lot easier to make those as well. Yeah, it's not as fiddly.
Yeah, I like it.
That was my very specific idea that I just
extremely specific.
I don't know why.
Okay. Algae rope
landscape painting.
How do you? I'm now struggling.
ALGAE, I think. I could be wrong.
Algae.
Algae.
Rope.
Landscapes.
Landscapes is a good word. Cool. So we have the pillars for our civilization now. As you can see, we've left religion on the side, because what religion is going to be, it's going to be the monument that symbolizes how great our civilization is, and we'll be building this monument for the entirety of the reign of this civilization, and that's what the dice are for. So we need to decide what monument we're building that symbolizes religion as a pillar of our society.
Yes. Now the instinct is to say temple.
That is the instinct.
Is there anything cooler we can do, though?
Something to do with death. Like a cemetery. Like the way that we deal with the afterlife.
Because how would they deal with the afterlife if they're on the ocean?
Do they just throw people overboard to preserve space?
Do they do Viking funerals?
Do they do Viking funerals?
But then is that a concern because it could, like, if they don't push them out far enough, they could just set fire to their own city? That would be very bad.
That would be quite bad. We could just go temple. But then what is the deity?
What if the temple is sort of almost... I don't know how this would work, so this is fine, we'll figure it out. If it's underneath?
Yeah. So, like, we're building a structure below the city.
Yes.
And what happens there?
So they do have to just get, like, drop people off. So there's a section where, like, you can push people out underneath the boat. Like, underneath
So
the
is
city.
it like a large tube where they've put seats all around the edge so they can have the funeral, and then it opens underneath and then the person floats into sea?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Now to summarise this.
Eject a seat temple.
Eject a seat. No! That's what it is. Do you want to write it down? Now, I'm going to distribute those to 4 cards, and they are motives, which means they are, it's a public thing. You're not hiding it from anyone else, but it is a character trait to help you determine who your character is going to be, and each character goes with one of the pillars. So what I'm going to say is that your first, so that you can't pick and choose, this is going to go with agriculture, whatever this is.
Okay.
This is going to go with health. This is going to go with artistic expression. This is going to go with education.
Okay, cool.
Does that seem fair?
Yeah, I'm going to
Okay.
swap these 2 around for no reason.
That upsets me. Fine, I guess. Cool.
It's
Okay.
random anyway.
I'll start with education.
Okay.
So, I got preserve the city, and I think it fits perfectly well with what we've said about nautical engineering.
Yeah.
Because then it means that my character, I don't want them to be like the top of the crop of the Nautical Academy, but maybe they are like an up-and-coming lecturer there who has gone through their entire life kind of being the smartest one in the room, and then has gotten to a point where it doesn't matter how smart you are, the politics of it get into place.
Yes.
Like, as high in administration as you can go before you actually need to be kind of evil.
Yes.
Cool. So their name is...
Claude.
No way. You can call your character Claude.
No,
if you
professor
want to.
sounds like Claude. That's why I said it. My character's not going to be a professor.
They are called Professor Mermaid.
Professor Mermaid.
They are called Professor Mermaid.
Yeah.
I'm committing to this. It's bad. I'm really bad with names. We know this.
Professor Mermaid is a beautiful name.
Professor Mermaid, and I'm going to write smart, not evil enough.
For politics.
Brilliant. And this can go next to me. No, this will go next to education. And they want to preserve the city. Your turn.
Okay, cool. For agriculture, protect the citizens.
Ooh, that's different.
Can I relate it to other things, or is it meant to just relate to agriculture?
It is meant to be someone important within your agricultural
Okay.
Aspect.
So I think it's the person whose job it is to check the structures that the sea potatoes grow on. Mm-hmm. And so they every day have to essentially get on a diving suit,
Yeah.
and climb down and check all the links and everything and make sure it's fine. Very underappreciated because people are just like, oh, you're
just a guy.
you potato diver.
Don't disrespect potato divers like that.
I'm not saying I don't disrespect potato divers.
I fully am.
I'm saying that the fishermen disrespect the potato divers.
There's a whole class system within the farming industry
Yes.
where the fishermen are highly regarded, and the potato farmers who actually
Yes.
feed the people.
Yes, because the fishermen see it more as like an art. Like
Yeah.
getting, like managing to catch the fish and all that, and you know, pulling the reel at the exact right moment. Whereas the potato farmers, it's about like diligently
Yeah.
continuing.
Yeah, it's about
your work.
planning.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
What's their name?
It is. Is there a title for like engineers? There's not, is there?
Engineer.
Yeah, but you don't say.
MSc.
Nah. People
No,
with
there
MSCs
isn't
suck.
Don't be mean to MSc having people. We all make mistakes.
Jemima.
Jemima.
Mm-hmm. The potato diver.
Mm-hmm. Jemima the potato diver.
No, but Jemima isn't a potato diver, like, isn't one of the main potato divers. It's like the engineer for the potato divers.
The manager. So Karen can be like, I want to speak to the manager, and it's Jemima.
No, I think Jemima wouldn't handle that well, so I don't think Jemima wants to be in a management position. I think this is an educated role rather than like a I'm in charge of people. This is I have a very specialised thing I do. Potato grate diver. Because they fix the grate the potatoes grow on.
The great.
The grater.
E-A-T.
The potato grater. The greater potato.
The greater potato.
The greater potato.
Jemima the greater potato.
Yeah, sure. I've spelled potato wrong as well in solidarity.
Yes.
With greater.
Incredible. Art is the expression. The algae rope landscapes. Of course. They just want to get rich. I know who she is. Her name is Barbara.
Right, yes.
Her name is Barbara, and she fully was not the one who invented algae rope landscapes.
Yes.
But she's the one who's popularized it, and so everyone thinks it's her.
Right, yeah.
Barbara is a white person who's stolen a POC's work.
Okay.
That's who Barbara is.
It was actually a potato farmer.
It was actually
Potato
Jemima. But yeah, Barbara has like transitioned into having a school to try and teach algae rope landscapes to younglings. But
It's like
truly,
a yoga studio.
yes, but like the prices are extortionate to get to that school.
Yeah.
And Jemima, not Jemima, that's not her name, Barbara, truly wants nothing more than to just get rich at any cost.
Yeah. Does Barbara like farm algae rope before it needs to be replaced?
Maybe Barbara is actually a horrible person.
I mean, you say get rich.
That's true.
That's
Yeah,
constant.
so I think Barbara has kind of like an exploitative algae rope business.
Yes.
Where either she doesn't pay the divers who get the ropes for her well, or she will, as you've said, force the replacement ropes on people before they're needed. She is the school principal,
Yes.
the art school principal. AL?
I think so. I didn't expect this game
To
to.
be words.
I didn't expect it to out as a terrible spellers.
I have an excuse.
Okay, so my next motive for health, which is our weakness, is to bring down Icarus. So
We think Barbara's the bad guy,
I mean, that
but
could be
this guy
multiple
is
bad
actually
guys.
the bad guy.
So this is a guy called Dave.
Dave. Apologies to all Daves.
I don't apologise to all Daves. I don't know if I know any Daves.
I know one Dave.
Dave.
So
Okay.
this could be the guy who's responsible for coming up with the plan of sending people off.
Yes. So Dave is in government. And sort of knows that because they're in charge of like
Are they the health ministry?
essentially, yeah. So they're in charge of making sure the cleanliness and everything is maintained, and has been passing through legislation to make it less and less regulated, and so knows that if it happens, they'll get out of power. And so instead is going to try and use it to like wait till it's gotten bad enough that it's like, oh well, no one could have possibly predicted this. This is a freak accident. then will use that time to be like, well, here's what we could do, and it's going to slowly shift their political standing before people know that it's a problem. We'll be like, oh, maybe other people are telling us to bring down these rules, but we should maybe push for more, and it's going to slowly shift that way, so that when the news breaks out, it's going to seem like he's in the best position to help when it's a problem he caused.
Amazing. Love it.
Truly the most evil.
Yeah.
Should have named him Boris.
Dave Boris is his name.
Dave Boris. Hiding Sardinitis from the masses. Health secretary.
Corrupt health secretary.
That's implied, right?
Yeah. Are Dave and Barbara married?
I think that's probably likely.
Can't believe we've come up with straight people. That's disgusting.
Well, it is the bad guys.
That's true. I guess it's allowed. I think we should put Barbara here, and then put Dave next to her, because it does mean that art and health will have like an intimate link with one another in our society. Yes. Do we want Professor Mermaid and Jemima to know each other, or do we want a link between anyone else? Because Dave Boris might have something to do with Jemima's job.
Dave Boris will do, but I think it makes sense for Professor Mermaid and Jemima to know each other, because the Greater Potato, the job is very engineering-y.
That's true.
And so probably went to the Nautical Engineering Academy and took a specialised route through it.
Yeah. Yeah. So did they go to school together and then went different paths?
Yes.
Yeah, because like Professor Mermaid was extremely good at the learning part.
Yes.
And the academic part.
I think Professor Mermaid helped tutor Jemima when she was struggling on some topics and stuff, and so Jemima was like, you should do this, you're good at this. Yeah. And then Jemima was the one who like struggled with regular academics but was extremely good at like hands-on labs. Yes, it's just like, oh, I can see it all makes sense now.
Yeah. Incredible. Yes. This is our civilization now. Do you want to start the actual game?
Yes.
Okay, the way it works is you can either take a dice, and you'll have to do that for the first turn, put it on one of the aspects that we've got written down, and say something about how you would like to improve or question it or change it or something. And then once that's done, you will draw a card. That will give you another aspect. It'll give you a crisis to solve that you can have an aspect on. And then I'll do that, and then you'll do that again, and I'll do that again. And then once we've done it 4 times, we will put a dice here to build our temple. And then start rolling dice on the aspects that we've bet on. Yes. And the other thing you can do, if you're not just like saying that you want to act on something, is that if there's already a dice there, you can say that you support this, and it means that the person will be rolling with 2 dice instead of 1 in the next stage. That was a bit messy, but you'll see when we play. So go ahead, pick a dice, and start questioning this world that we've made. Okay. I think what I'm going to say is the parent of someone who was sent away for Sardinitis has been trying to kick up a fuss about their kid being missing. Okay. So you can put a dice on Sardinitis Centre C, and what you'll be trying to do is investigating that if you succeed. Yes. Cool. Okay. Draw a card. An unpopular subculture within the city is holding a festival, and some members of the community have shown up to try and shut it down. What is the subculture, and why is it looked down upon? You can't just have be queer subculture. That's going to be all of everything we say. Also, we can't make the city so bad that it also has homophobia. Yes. Exactly. I have an idea. What is your idea? It can be artists are kind of tired of this being the only art they can do, the LJ wrote. And they have been like in their corner doing something else with like shells or something. And Barbara, seeing it as a threat, has been trying her damn hardest to shut it down. Yes, I think if we have it something
other than shells though.
Oh, yeah,
So that Barbara can get Dave Boris to say that it's not sanitary.
Oh.
And so they can't do it, even though they're literally making stuff out of algae rope.
Yeah.
Like scraping the algae off the rope and using it as dyes and stuff and dyeing things instead. And
Yeah.
it's just a complicated process that Barbara doesn't understand, and so is upset by him.
Yeah. And I like the idea that Barbara is using her husband to enact a policy on the entire civilization, when truly this is no one. It's like 10 teenagers in a basement.
Going, what if we just scrape off the green? We don't have enough money to keep buying algae rope. So if we scrape it off, we can reuse it to do multiple things.
So you take an aspect and you add it to, it'll have to do with like Barbara, algae ropes. Just have something between like Art and Boris and Barbara. And then write what you want on there.
Just algae dye art.
And then you can put algae dye art shut down by Barbara and Dave.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take, I have dice. I'm going to steal yours. Because the thing is, I think Professor Mermaid wants to also have a look at one of their friends who's gone missing.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to support you on that.
Okay.
Instead. And then I'll draw a card. Very cool. What controversial part of the Icarus culture do other surrounding nations not agree with or share? Ooh, that's an interesting question. Because it can't be the art, because that makes us world famous.
Yes.
So it has to be, is it something to do with the way that health is handled? So we add to that weakness? Is it that we don't have like a quarantining protocol, which is usually kind of like the center of most ship things?
Yeah, I think most floating city things are actually floating villages.
Yeah.
And so they keep it small because they're like, this isn't sustainable on a bigger scale. So people will eventually like break off and leave whenever the village gets too big.
Yeah.
They don't agree with Icarus's whole thing of trying to become an entire city that is floating around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the scale of Icarus.
Yes.
I'm going to put Icarus too big. And I'm going to put that sort of near health-ish.
Yes.
There's going to be lots of stuff near health, so maybe I'll just leave it here. Because it is just too big for all of these. There we go.
Yeah.
Icarus too big.
So yeah, so because Jemima was the mum who wanted Sardinitis looked into. So Dave Boris is trying to stop that. But I suppose I can't take a dice away. But is maybe more concerned at the moment with the art school. Dave Boris is being like, this is unsanitary and it's going to cause larger problems in society if we let people keep algae around in their homes. Hoping that it does then later make people think that's what caused Sardinitis. So that's
interesting.
Yes. Doing it. Two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Supporting Bob and also
Bob.
setting
Wifey
up
Bob.
his own scapegoat. Okay, so I need to draw a cracks from our facade card. A wave of crime is spreading through the city. What is it and what group is being blamed for it? I think the potato divers are being blamed. I don't know what it is yet, but the potato divers are being blamed.
Is it for the disappearance of people that people are starting to notice? People are disappearing.
They think it's because...
And they think it's because the potato divers are stealing children for cheap labour.
No, I don't think they think they're stealing them for cheap labour. I think what it is that the potato divers are being blamed because the fishermen are like, oh no, you're just trying to eradicate fishing. You're just trying to be the top dogs in this agricultural war we've been having. And so you're taking out people by sending them on finding dangerous missions and sending them out or something. Or something's going wrong and it's being caused by potato divers. There's not an E at the end of potato.
Toe.
I've put it there too. I can't spell potatoes. I'm just going to scribble it out.
That's worse. Just accept it.
It's just...
They're not potatoes, they're potato-ees.
They're potato-ees.
That's what they are.
It's because they glow a little bit.
Exactly.
They're potato...
Ees.
Exactly, yes. Potato divers blamed for missing fishes.
Yep.
Right, do I put that?
Definitely put that like up there with Jemima, because we're assuming Jemima will eventually get, like, you can put this and then put it in its place.
Yeah.
So that it's closer to health as well. I think Barb wants to sell her art to even more people, and so is trying to bring Icarus's reputation up.
Okay.
In the rest of the world, because even if her art is recognised, when people learn it's from Icarus, it's become a bit of like a ooh,
yeah,
dealing with art from this place that we hate. So I think Barb is going to like invest in making like a big piece to appeal to the rest of the world, and I think it's going to be something like drawing the world map using allergy.
Yeah,
I'm going to put this on Icarus too big. Cool. Gonna draw a card.
Yes.
So, a group is sent out to investigate a strange anomaly just beyond the border of the city. What did they see and who is going to investigate? This is going to be Jemima related.
Okay.
Because they are the guardian of the potatoes. Potatoes.
Yes.
And so Jemima's definitely going to investigate this. But what's happening beyond the border of the city?
Something floating in the ocean, and it looks like the potato grate, a bit of potato grate. I was thinking what it is it's those boats that have been sent off, and they are given some potato gate with potatoes growing on them to last them long enough.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, we're going off on a fishing trip, we'll be a while, we'll need potatoes to survive to some degree.
So is it the case of like Jemima has some like GPS on all of the grates, and they've noticed that some of the grates are like quite far outside of the boundaries of where they should be, and so they go investigate and see like empty boats with weird grates, and they don't know what it is yet.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's something to investigate for them further later, potentially.
Yes. And I think even on the fishing boats that go away, the grates are underneath the boat because that's how they grow.
Yeah.
And so they get there, and then like they have to dive underneath to look at the grates and investigate that, and so they don't see the bodies that are floating even lower.
Aren't they just fish, so they've swam away?
They're like fish people.
Okay. Are they hiding below?
No, they're dead. What?
They're dead, so they've died from becoming fish people?
Yes.
Okay. And
You
they've
just-
sunk to the bottom?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think what it is you become more and more fish, so you, like, kind of, your body doesn't know how to breathe. Because it's trying to breathe through
Both
gills
ways.
and your mouth.
Yeah.
And so you kind of, like, the only way to feasibly do it is to have, like, your mouth, your face above water and your neck below water.
Okay.
And you can only do that for so long
For so
before you
long.
get exhausted and
Yeah.
die.
Very good. So, is it the kind of thing where, like, Jemima's investigating the grates, and then the camera pans down and there's, like, suspenseful music, and then you see, like, all the bodies of the dead people, like, further down where they can't see?
Yes.
Yes, I like it. Okay, go.
This would be an excellent D&D campaign.
Yes.
Why am I writing it? This is yours.
Oh, it's mine. Cool. What is it? No. Chaos with Ed Miliband.
You said you didn't know British politics.
It's a lie. It's a ruse. GPS tracked. Great. Reveal lost boats to Jemima. And this goes with like Sardinitis.
Yeah.
But that's how it is. Cool. So now that we've done a whole turn, I am going to start our monument here. So the ejector seat temple that we've decided on. And basically this is the foundation of the monument, and it just signifies that we have done one turn of this. And now we are going to be resolving the different things that we've put dice on. So go ahead and pick one, and then roll the dice.
Let's do the Sardinitis.
Before you roll, you need to decide what happens if you succeed and what happens if you fail.
Okay, so if it succeeds, then an investigation is launched and people are trying to sort it out.
Okay.
And so other people don't get sent off because it's too
Yeah.
Notable. If it fails, the people who were inquiring potentially get sent off.
Yeah, probably.
Which means one of our characters, but it's fine.
It's fine. Okay, so it succeeded. You can narrate what's happened, but before you do, please put the dice that has failed
Yes.
on top of the monument, which is already getting higher.
Okay. So, where it failed was that people weren't taking Jemima seriously. Because she is but a greater potato.
She is but a greater potato.
She is but a greater potato. But then when Professor Mermaid also started inquiring, more people listened. And so there's other people aware of the situation at the university especially.
Right.
And so it's the people who do research and notice things. And so that's the most cautious you have to be, because they will use logic.
Also, is there a thing of like, as much as the higher administration of the university is involved in the politics and so has the same level of corruption, the people who are quite high, like Professor Mermaid, but not quite there yet, do have some power and influence.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, basically something might happen out of this.
Also, yeah, they want people to see them as people who are taking it seriously. Because Professor Mermaid is a professor. They know they're like, they need to be like, oh yes, we support looking into this and everything. So even if they aren't doing it for altruistic reasons, they're still like, we have to do it. University higher ups looking into disappearance of...
Yep, into disappearances.
Yeah. Have I spelled disappearances correctly?
Who knows? Who cares?
It's close enough.
Yeah, probably.
And that goes...
Yeah, probably up here at the academy.
Yeah, I mean, it was also linked to all this stuff.
So probably around here.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a look at Barb and Dave trying to shut down, what was it? The people who do separate art that isn't this art, that isn't algae.
I mean, it is algae still.
Algae.
But it's a more accessible form of algae art.
Yeah, it's like, it's not ropes, and so it doesn't use a luxurious resource. Cool. So if it succeeds, I think Barbara fully manages to shut them down, and I think Dave is going to basically be like, hey Barb, I have an easy way to make these people disappear. To link it back to the Sardinitis plot. Because I think the thing we don't know is that Dave is looking for volunteers to study, because he is still trying to study Sardinitis because he's worried about himself.
Yes.
And so, as the health minister, health secretary, he is using like low level civilians to do testing on. And if it fails, he's just given them Sardinitis and then sends them off.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I think if it succeeds, that's what happened to those people. And then if it fails, the movement uses the fact that it's been tried, like that higher ups have tried to shut it down, to convince even more people that it's like avant-garde. And to join.
So
and
this is what art is meant to be.
Exactly. And so Barbara loses like a good amount of influence in the city.
Yes.
If it fails.
Yeah.
Okay. It succeeds. So, nothing gets added to this tower, which is good, but our city is bad. Essentially, this gets shut down completely, and so I think we can just remove it from the board so it doesn't take up more space, or we'll put something on top of it so it looks messy at the end. But essentially, civilians are being used as live subjects for Sardinitis.
Yeah.
And it crushes any kind of art renewal that could have come from there.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Do you want to do the final one?
Sure. So this was Barbara trying to build a reputation of Icarus, right?
Yeah.
To get more money. So I think if it succeeds, people who were like, Icarus is too big, this is ridiculous, how can this work? Are like, well, it is working, so maybe we should be doing this. And if it fails, people start to like not want to trade with them either, potentially.
So they isolate them even more.
Yes. Is the thing, because they're just like, no, it can't be clean, so we can't possibly trade with them. I'll roll it over the. It's a failure.
It's a failure. We're fucked.
No trading for.
Okay, so you can add an aspect that is no import-export at all anymore.
Yes. Brexit.
Brexit! No!
I'm just putting over. Should I just put it there?
We can now start the next set of questions.
Yeah.
I think this is Professor Mermaid looking into Sardinitis. I think the way it's gonna work is that Professor Mermaid had a very good student who was also an artist.
Yes.
Who's disappeared when usually they would have come to all the lectures.
Yes.
And so, having heard about the disappearances, I think Professor Mermaid puts one and one together and starts to think that maybe the Dave Boris Barbara relationship has something to do with like Professor Mermaid already doubting the higher ups.
Yes.
Is perfectly happy to get behind the conspiracy theory at this point that it's two people holding and they're married and they're holding the strings of pretty much everything going on.
Yes.
Big with the city. And so I think Professor Mermaid is gonna basically between civilians use as test subjects and university higher ups looking into disappearances, but we can probably like get the two of those closer to one another. I'll move this up here. This can go over here because we're fucked because of it anyways. And then I'll put this here, and I think Professor Mermaid will fully look into their student mostly.
Yeah.
And so it will be about civilians being used as test subjects rather than the actual disappearances.
Yeah. Okay.
Card. Ooh, this is the final card of the level 1 problems that we'll have. All is not what it seems. Something that was once a strength is now a weakness. What is it and why did it change so quickly? It can't be the art because we've just established that the art has like cemented itself.
So we've got education or agriculture.
I don't know, what do you think?
Well, what we could do is so both can work because we can say that with the higher ups being less and less being more concerned about power than they are about doing their job effectively, the quality of the education is depleting. Yeah. Or we can do with all the people disappearing.
There's less farmers.
There's less farmers.
Yeah.
So society's falling apart a little bit.
Yeah. Either are fine.
I think.
Okay. Cool.
A plot.
So let's move this to weakness, which just says no commercial food is made or grown within the city of Icarus anymore. What outside source now provides the city's food? And we're fucked because we've gotten angry at the rest of the world.
Yes. I think people are having to fish further out, which only helps Dave Boris with his cover story even more. Because potato farming there's no potato farmers really left, especially with them being like the ones who are healthy are being targeted because of the
fishing people,
the missing fishing people.
Yeah. Very good. Okay, so I'm going to put this away so that we have more space because we've resolved it. Yeah. And I don't think I'll be creating a new aspect because we have just changed this to weakness. Yes. Wait, actually, I could just put no more. This is important. We do need to put no more potato. Yeah. Because now Jemima's out of a job. Yeah. No more potato divers.
Yeah. You have to spell potato incorrectly.
Potato-y.
Yeah.
Divers.
That looks like clivers.
I knew you were going to say that.
All these potato clives.
Where does it go?
Just put it over sea potato farming.
Oh yeah, because there's not fishing though. Fishing. Well, no, fishing doesn't really happen anymore either. But yeah.
I mean, it kind of does. It's just
a little bit, yeah. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I am going to put one. This might add on to yours because I think what I want to happen is for Professor Mermaid. I know it's your character.
That's fine. You're allowed to.
hold on. There's a whole thing. No, it's fine because Jemima can do it because Jemima's not got a job, so she's got some free time.
Yeah.
The change in regulations from Dave Boris and the increase in people trying to do potato divery things like to get rope.
Yeah.
They're doing it without like proper safety equipment, and so they are getting sardinitis.
Oh.
Because
so is
of
Jemima discovering the root of sardinitis?
Yes.
That's really cool.
Is what I think should happen.
Yeah.
And so I think that comes from when she looks into the GPS tracked boat. Okay, this is our first level 2 one?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, an important part of the city has been quarantined. Where is it and what caused it, and how have they kept the quarantined citizens there from leaving? So this is a tough one because floating city.
Yeah, but also I think it goes well with the fact that this whole plot is bubbling up now.
Yeah. So if it's mostly, I think it would be the arts district, like the art academy area, because all the people there are using this rope and stuff where the sardinitis has started and spreading.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So yeah, give me an aspect.
Give me an aspect.
So it could even be like the art school students if it's like a university type thing where they live on campus.
Yeah.
The campus is shut down.
They shut down the art campus.
Yeah.
Barbara's not getting rich right now.
But she lives off campus, so she's fine.
Yeah, she's fine. Yeah, but she's not.
She's not. I mean,
Getting
they're
rich.
still there. She can still charge them. Universities can still charge students during lockdown.
This is an unpolitical show.
This is an unpolitical
Clearly.
with Dave Boris
With
making
Dave
bad decisions about
being an actual horrible man.
during a pandemic.
Yes. We're doing great. Immediately Barbara's going to be like looking into this lockdown, trying to open it up as quickly as possible.
Yes.
So that's going to be my dice. And the card. This was a quick one.
Yeah.
A valuable resource used commonly within the community is now completely gone. What is it and what was it used for, and what are citizens doing to get their hands on the last of it? So I think it's because the sea potatoes aren't happening anymore.
Yes.
And so are people using the algae rope underworld, trying to get the last of, like, harvesting the last potatoes before they're ready? Which is increasing the sardinitis.
Yes. Yeah, like people are trying to just grow it in buckets in their house.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Bucket potato.
bucket potatoes. Wait, because I think it goes with no more potato divers,
Yeah.
no more sea potatoes.
Yeah.
No more sea potatoes, alternate potato growing, bad. Alternate bad potato
And they're like
growing.
little mini potatoes that they look a
They
bit
look
ill.
like shriveled up and gross.
Yeah, you're just like, ooh, you didn't get enough sun.
So this can go over here. I'm not sure we meant to keep the cards, but I do like it. Does it go just on top of
Oh, yeah,
there?
you can do that.
Because it is just making it worse.
Yeah.
The absence of potato grows.
Yeah. Okay, so what is happening? What do I want to look into? This is Dave Boris. Dave Boris has got to do things and just wants to bring down society.
Mm-hmm.
And things are kind of going to plan because he's been switching tacks and saying that we need to increase regulations, and now people are noticing that this is an issue. So Dave Boris is sort of campaigning to, be like the one in charge. So I think I'm going to put a dice on this one, the university higher up. So Dave Boris is trying to work with them
Yeah.
to keep a close eye on the investigation as well, to be like, so it doesn't lead to him, and trying
Keep your
to
enemies close.
yes, and then trying to push the blame further onto the potato people,
Yeah.
and then be like, they've caused this clearly, even
Yes.
though it was the people collecting the algae rope using potato diver equipment.
Yeah. And then is he basically using all of the rich art kids as bait for their parents? Like, he's being like, oh, look at all of the evil potato growers who forced all of your kids to quarantine.
They were so unclean that your
Yeah.
kids had to quarantine.
Yeah.
Yes, that is David Boris's
Yes.
campaign.
Incredible.
Thing at the moment. Okay.
Cut.
Okay. A force of nature strikes the city in a single night of terror. what happens and how does it inhibit one of the city's strengths?
Oh my god, but we have no strength left.
We've got one strength, don't we? So
We've got 2.
What's our 2
Education.
strengths? Your side.
Education and art.
Okay.
So
Well,
it must be some bit of the boat detaches.
yes, because there's not enough rope, so they've been trying to tie stuff with less and less rope.
So is it the quarantine people who get dropped away? Or is it the people who are actually trying to do good who end up?
Now, logically, where would they scrimp on rope more? And I think if the university higher-ups have the power, especially because the higher-ups don't live on campus for the university place, and it's just a bunch of, like, admittedly they have rich parents, but it's not the parents
In the art
themselves.
school, you mean?
Yeah, in the art
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
So I think that's it. Their strength is inhibited by just a really strong storm. So like the waves are higher, and it's enough to detach part of the school.
Okay.
So some kids are just floating away.
Sure.
Right, aspect.
Are you just going to put some kids are floating away?
Art buildings detach. Kids in the sea. No, that's fine.
You should
That's
put kids in the sea. Kids in the sea!
more kids in the sea.
More! There's just been
There's
so
barely
many
people
kids.
left.
Who's protecting the citizens? Jemima's going to have to fucking go get some kids at some point.
Close here.
Yeah.
Okay,
Very good.
dice rolling time.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
Sure. Professor Mermaid is looking into their students' disappearances who were in the art world. So Professor Mermaid has kind of got a hint of something being like involving Barbara and Dave
Yeah.
going on. If it's a success, they have found the facility where they've not linked it back to Dave, because obviously Dave would have many layers of protection.
Yeah.
But they've found a facility with stolen children.
Yes.
And if it fails, Professor Mermaid is now on Dave Boris's radar
Yes.
and maybe gets put on like either a watch list or immediately gets taken away and put in prison,
yes.
depending on how intense we want this to be. Shit. Professor Mermaid is in jail. So Professor Mermaid was caught snooping around the facility
Yes.
and almost made it out.
Well, the facility would be near the art building, so it could just be quarantined with them because it's like, oh, you're here, so you need to be quarantined.
Yeah. So maybe there was a conversation where someone was like, no, you've seen too much. And then
Officially
Lock
to the
in.
outward world, it's, oh, Professor was visiting the art studio
and ended up getting in contact with some of the quarantined students.
Yes.
And so Professor Mermaid will be staying hidden away
Yes.
into the art world. Is Professor Mermaid on the bit of the art campus that is in the sea?
That happened beforehand, right? So it can't be.
Okay,
Maybe?
we can say that. It doesn't matter.
It's just the bit that can see it floating away. It's like, you know, like one wall went. They're missing a wall.
They're
but they
missing
can-
one wall.
Or they've got a really big window, however you want to see it.
Prof. Mermaid.
Gonna have to live up to their name soon.
Yep. Is locked away. Discovered lab. So they have the knowledge, they can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm going to move Professor Mermaid to the art campus lockdown.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Move this up. Professor Mermaid's going to be here, and then, yeah, this is going to be on top because it goes with it.
Yeah.
Oh, and this was a failure, so I'm going to...
Yes.
Okay, we're fine.
So that one was mine, and which other one? There was this one, right?
I feel like you can do whichever one you want.
Yeah,
really.
no. I was just trying to figure out. Okay, so I think this one with Jemima looking for, like, figuring out some of the algae connection. If it succeeds, Jemima finds the way that people are accessing the suits who aren't the right people, and finds potentially the orders from Barbara, because I think Barbara won't think Barbara believes that she cannot be caught and she's done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So she doesn't have the layers of protection covering her.
Yeah.
To stop her
Barbara's
from being
name
found.
Barbara has signed the documents with her real name.
Yes. Yeah. And so on a success, Jemima finds just undeniable evidence that Barbara is at least partially responsible. The person signing off on the responsibility, like on the issue with the algae, and that leads to the sardinitis. And on a failure, Jemima comes in contact with it and starts to get sardinitis.
Yes, I love it. I wanted Jemima to get sardinitis.
Wow.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll allow it.
She's already lost her son to sardinitis.
And her job.
And her job. And you want
Jemima's
her.
having a horrible time.
Truly the worst time. I was going to add it onto that.
No, you've won.
Yes. Oh, this is weird because this connects here now.
Move it around.
No, it connects
What
to all
does?
of it. Everything connects to everything.
Well, yeah,
This
it's
is
fine.
connecting to Barbara.
It's actually a sphere, this table, that's been laid out. So this is actually on top of that as well.
Yeah, it's a world map.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Evidence of
We've put Dave Boris in the middle.
Involvement found.
So what's the evidence?
The evidence is the sort of instructions to people to use the suits. You don't need to bother cleaning them. People are too crazy about the hygiene anyway. It takes too long. We need to maximize
Rope recuperation.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Signed off by Barbara's office.
Yes.
Very good. Is Jemima aware of the disease yet?
Well, Barbara was the first person to go to get it looked into.
Jemima.
Yeah, sorry. Jemima was the first person to go to get it looked into as to why people were missing.
Yeah.
And I think her son might have seemed a bit off beforehand.
Yeah. Just like leaking. Just water leaking.
Just looks like, oh, you've got a rash and a weird repetitive
pattern.
pattern.
Here.
What's going on? Thought it was maybe vampirism because it was holes in the throat, but then was like...
Unlikely.
Unluckily, it was instead sardinitis.
Sardinitis. Cool.
And also because Barbara is friends with Professor Mermaid.
Yeah.
They talked about it before.
Yeah.
About like stuff going wrong.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
not the details of it, but because it's more of a thing now because the university people are looking into it. The university people are starting to look into it.
Yes.
Making noise about it. So knows that something is happening, but doesn't know the details of sardinitis, but now knows some of the causes, which is the weirdest way to find out.
Yes. What is Jemima going to do with that information?
Jemima would probably intend to... is now concerned because they can't talk to Professor Mermaid.
Okay.
Who would be Jemima's go-to as an educated person who is like connected enough to get higher ups to listen, and is trying to figure out who the next person to talk to is.
Okay.
Because tried to talk in the first place and only got a little bit of movement and is now like, who's the trustworthy person to give this evidence to?
Brilliant. Okay, I'm going to go and deal with Barbara trying to open up the campus again.
Yes.
And now having to deal with half of the fucking thing floating away.
Yes.
And I think Barbara is going to, as she knows how to do, try to cover it up.
Yeah.
Like she's fully going to try to make sure the smallest amount of people know about the art building detaching, because then it could lead back to her being the reason why.
How do you hide an art building detaching? How do you hide a part of the city leaving?
Or I think what she'll do is she'll have like the most perfect public media plan to deal with it.
It's like
to make her the center of attention of the right side of history.
Yes. And potentially even then argue that it was those people who were the problem.
Yeah,
so they
like,
floated away now, so we can open it up and it's fine.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Yes.
That this is where all the lockdown people were, which is not true.
Yeah.
But she's going to try to say that.
Yeah.
I think she'll succeed on her success, and if she doesn't, people are going to see through the facade that this is just her media persona.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting. People are starting to distrust Barbara because their children have fully disappeared
Yes.
in mass. A whole part of the art building detached during the storm, which the government has time and time again assured them that would never happen.
Yeah.
And
They pride them, their biggest strength right now.
is their
the
education. Nautical engineering.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
yeah. And I think, yeah, Barbara is like on unequal footing right
Yeah.
now, to the point where I think someone in government who isn't her husband, is not Dave Boris, is going to start investigating her.
Yeah.
No, please. Okay, we're fine. I'm going to add an aspect
Yeah.
to Barbara. Is under investigation. It's covered her up completely.
Yes.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, so this is the university higher-ups.
Please be careful.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Looking into the disappearances. They're starting to take it seriously.
Because Professor Mermaid has a spit now as
Yes.
well.
Yeah. Well, they think that Professor Mermaid is being on lockdown.
Oh, it's true. Yeah.
I think they are looking into the statistics of it, and if I succeed, they start to figure out like the science of what's going wrong. So what sort of the virus is in the waters, essentially, and on a failure, do they not find anything?
Does it clear someone? Does it clear Dave Boris? If it fails.
Yeah.
Does
I
it
think so.
further push Dave Boris away from like
They find stuff that supports Dave Boris's newest campaign suggestions and stuff, and so they back Dave Boris.
Yeah. Which is important because they are the biggest strength right now.
Yes.
Unquestionable strength. And so
Yeah.
if they back Dave Boris, then people are going to have a really hard time
Yes.
getting into this later. Okay. It's a failure. Dave Boris is backed. How is it he is so bad? Okay. It's so wonky.
It's fine. It's solid.
I don't think we can go another round.
I think we can, especially if I keep rolling the way I roll.
Yes, it's true.
Maybe not if I keep rolling like you roll.
I've had all failures.
Yes. I don't want to word it like that, but I'll just say university backs Boris.
Yeah. So this fully goes away, or gets like covered up.
Yeah.
They are now not at all looking into disappearances. Or they're not linking Boris back to it.
Yeah, they are
Counting on Boris to deal with it himself.
Yeah, they're like the solution is to
Trust Boris.
trust Boris and his
Strong and stable government.
Yes. His suggestions for how we go about telling us we ignore him going to hospitals without proper
Yep.
masking.
Absolutely, yeah. Go to parties. Go to many parties.
Yes. No, it doesn't happen. University backs Boris. I think Jemima's going to try and get to Professor Mermaid.
Yeah, and
In
maybe
the art
figure
building.
out that there's actually something going on.
Yeah, so Jemima is going to the art district, breaking in.
Okay. Pick a card.
Number
2.
So the expansion of the city has started to encroach upon another nation's land, sparking a battle over territory. Who is the other party in this war, and what are they doing to keep our forces from moving in further? Well, what we can have is that it's a floating city getting into other people's waters, like places where they're fishing and stuff, and because we're moving further and further out to fish, and there's villagers going, we are fishing here, and you're taking away our food supply
Yeah.
to feed your city that can't sustain itself.
Yeah.
We hate you. Or maybe just setting up barricades.
Oh. Like underwater barricades.
Yeah. Because all our boats have got potato fences on them.
Yes. That's true.
So you put something underwater to stop it, they can't get very far.
That's true. Okay.
Right.
Do you want to put it up there?
Yeah, watch it. So, who is the other party in this war? So the nearest village.
Yeah.
Setting up barricade. Sets up barricade.
Mm-hmm.
How do you spell barricade?
2 R's?
2 R's and then an I?
Yeah. So we're now locked out of access to fish
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
And we're kind of stuck in this barricade.
Yes. Food is very scarce.
Food is getting bad.
But fear not. The strength we have is the artistic expression, which is
Corrupt.
corrupt. Half the building's gone.
Yeah. We're doing great.
Yeah.
Okay, what am I going to do? I think Professor Mermaid is doing everything they possibly can to escape.
Oh.
A riot breaks out in response to the escalation of a problem in the city. Why are they protesting, and what do they damage during the riot? So they're definitely protesting because there's no food left.
Yes.
So I think it'll go up here.
Mm-hmm.
And so no food.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they've damaged like government buildings.
Yeah.
So there's full civil unrest
Yeah.
because of no food.
Yes.
Cool.
Ooh.
Turn. Level 3!
Level 3.
Your
What's
turn.
gonna go? No, you. Oh no, that is what yours.
That is my turn.
Yeah. Okay. So Dave Boris is gonna back the idea of bucket potatoes.
Of homegrown.
It's
sea
gonna say this
potatoes.
is how we move forward. We have to grow them in our own homes temporarily. We can't just.
So it has to do with the 2 of these.
Yes, and it's like potato divers were making it seem like this is the way we have to go because they were protecting their own self-interest and their own livelihood.
Yeah.
But really, the most safe we can be is to grow our own bucket potatoes. So that's. I'm gonna just put that there.
Yeah, very nice. Okay, the card.
Level 3. Okay. An area of the city has become condemned and subsequently abandoned. What area and why?
Oh shit.
Well, it has to be the.
Is it the detached building?
Well, the detached building is gone. I think it's the remaining building because it's got half of it missing,
Yeah.
and people are fleeing because one, they can get out of the detached bit. It's broken. They
Yeah.
can just get out,
Leave.
scale around, and swim
Yeah.
a bit. Everyone knows how to swim.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So our building is empty, even though it's meant to be quarantined.
Level 3 is called the final hours.
Ooh.
I'll put it on top of that.
Yeah.
Which means that there's now a leak of both sardinitis and information
Yes.
coming out of the art building.
Yes.
And so I think...
Will Professor Mermaid be able to get out there? Because Professor Mermaid
we don't know, we'll see.
supposedly is under lockdown, but it's actually
Yeah.
locked down.
Please.
Also,
This hurt me physically.
if Professor Mermaid gets sardinitis, will they just be living up to their name?
Yes.
Good to know.
Professor Mermaid is excited to get sardinitis,
Yes.
to finally live their true nature. I think Barbara is going to immediately try and deal with the broken up buildings. Basically, collect the names of all the missing students, try to find them
Yeah.
as quickly. Like, Barbara has truly set off all of her resources
Yeah.
after these kids so that the information of her management being awful doesn't go out.
Yeah.
Cut.
Yeah.
Oh, it's long. It's a long one. Okay. In an attempt to save themselves from the incoming catastrophe, many of the citizens have been secretly building safety shelters. What interesting or unique place have they decided to build these shelters, and what major danger have they faced while doing it?
I have an idea.
Go ahead. I also have an idea, but go ahead.
My idea is that they're building it into the temple.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say they're using the stuff that they know about building the temple to build little, like, parasite houses underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Little muscle houses.
Yeah, and the danger is that is literally where all the sardinitis is.
Yep. Very good. Sardinitis prone
Underwater pod homes.
underwater pod homes. And this can go... Where does this go?
You can put it here, next to the...
Next to the temple.
Yeah. Although it's more sardinitis related to me.
Yeah. I'll put it here. So the temple is still the lowest thing.
Yes. Okay, so dice rolling time. I want to know
Come on, Jemima's the only one who can save us.
Okay, so on a success, Jemima breaks in, gets to Professor Mermaid, they figure out what's going on properly.
Yeah.
On a failure, Jemima is trapped.
With Professor
Mermaid.
As lesbians.
Sure, yes.
Yes.
But they're on like adjacent cells, so they have to talk to each other through like a window, and it's very sad and tragic.
Pining.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing sadder than being a window away from your girlfriend, truly. It's a success! Incredible.
Truly, I get so many successes.
You do, it's unreal. It's more than 50-50. These dice are a 1 in 3 chance.
Yeah. I'm just a pro.
You are.
So, yeah. Jemima is with Professor Mermaid.
Escaped. And figured out everything that's happened.
They've not escaped yet. That's going to be that role.
Okay.
They're together. They've figured out. They understand what's going on. They've unravelled the Barbara plot. I don't know if they know Dave Boris's involvement, but they know that the general lacks of regulations and stuff on how the cleaning and stuff works is what led to Sardinitis, and that Sardinitis exists.
Cool.
Do I need an aspect card for that? Or...
Maybe bring all of Jemima to Professor Mermaid.
Okay, hold on. This is a lot. So I think what I'll do is I'll move this up.
Yeah.
Move this to the side.
Yeah.
And then move this here.
Yeah, very good. Solid choice.
The greater potato.
The greater potato, Jemima, who's truly saved this city so far.
Doing well with her motive.
Absolutely.
Though no one knows. Nobody knows it.
I'm absolutely going to roll Professor Mermaid right now.
Yes.
We're doing A plot first.
We have to figure out what's happening.
Okay.
On a success?
If it's a success, I've never fucking succeeded in this game. If it's a success, Professor Mermaid and Jemima, the 2 lesbians,
sleep together? Is that what's...
No, they kiss.
Okay.
In a grand reveal, they kiss. They're lesbians. That's a grand reveal.
Yes.
I think Professor Mermaid and Jemima escape and manage to find a layer of government. Like, if they succeed, Professor Mermaid knows someone who works at like the Department of Education in the ministry, like the Education Secretary or something, who hates Dave Boris with a passion.
Yes.
And is waiting for nothing more to bring him down. To bring him down. On a failure, they are still stuck on the campus that people are fleeing, and Professor Mermaid, and Jemima has Sardinitis.
Okay. Why does Jemima have Sardinitis?
Because Jemima has been fucking about with the greats.
Professor Mermaid has been with all the people.
No, they've been locked out.
That's fair.
They've been locked away.
Hurting my Jemima.
I'm hurting your Jemima. Come on!
First success. No.
Please.
You've given Jemima Sardinitis.
Jemima
You've
has
given the
Sardinitis.
lesbian Sardinitis.
I'm gonna murder the lesbian. What have I done?
You are your least favourite trope.
It's fine, I'll find a way to heal Jemima. Okay.
No, you gotta turn it around so that the logo's at the top. Like, you're fine. It's not that high. It's all good.
I'm so scared. Don't do that.
We've got the Dave Boris promoting bucket potatoes. And I think on a success, people listen, they get bucket potatoes, and it staves off some of the panic because people are successfully making potatoes.
Yes. Hang on, I've not written an aspect for this.
Oh, sorry, yeah. I didn't write an aspect for Barbara.
No, but
If
we
you can
put
call
them
both
together.
of them,
Yeah. Prof and Jemima gay.
Algay.
Locked with knowledge.
Brackets, Jemima art sardine. Jemima is becoming Professor Mermaid.
In art building. Jemima sardine.
Because they're packed in. They're packed away like sardines.
This is now here.
Yeah.
No, here.
Yeah.
Because it's both Jemima and Prof
Yes.
Mermaid.
Right, so, yeah. On a success, people are able to do bucket potatoes.
Okay.
And so the riots calm down to some degree because they are reassured that the government is trying to find solutions. On a failure, people realize that the bucket potatoes are far worse for you, more likely to give you diseases, and so it's going to be a bigger riot.
Yes, and Dave Boris will lose street cred.
Yes,
which he's had this entire time.
It will be rioting specifically against Dave Boris, even though Dave Boris has so far been just building up reputation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this where we take Dave Boris down?
I do want this to fail. I should have gotten you to roll. God damn it.
This is fucking unreal.
Dave Boris.
Dave Boris is too OP. How have you made Dave Boris truly the most OP man? Look at the difference in dice that you have between the dice that I have left.
I've lost 1 dice. No,
two.
2. I've lost 2 dice.
I've lost every single one of my dice.
You started with 1 less because yours was the first one. But you have lost 5 dice.
I'm not doing well.
Potentially 6 if you lose this one too.
Shut up. Okay, so Dave Boris is now a fucking star.
Yeah, okay, so rejoice! The government cares. I can spell government.
Good. That helps.
Bucket potatoes to the safe. Wait, to the
rescue.
rescue. That's the word I was looking for. I've been in France too long.
Right, that's what it is, yes. France.
Yes.
France is to blame for everything. France is to blame for Sardinitis, is what we discovered.
Yes.
Dave Boris is actually called David. Because that's not a name. Bori. Okay, final one. This is Barbara trying to save her reputation.
This is another one we want to fail.
Is truly fucked.
Yes, so on a success.
On a success, I think the art campus is gone, but she saves her reputation.
People believe that she has been the most grievously affected by this.
Yes, and that she's tried her hardest, and so people have, like, pity her. And so, like, people are starting a GoFundMe equivalent to help her rebuild the art building.
Yeah.
On a failure, people see that she's just trying to get more money from this, whereas she's the one who's made it fail this entire time. And so she loses every single influence she's had so far if this fails. Okay.
Yay!
It has failed. There is justice in this world. So
just for Barbara.
On top of being under investigation, I think Barbara has now been linked to the disappearances by, like, the police.
Yes. And is being blamed for the breaking off the building.
Yeah. Barbara
in deep shit.
blamed for death.
Yep.
For deaths, plural. Deep shit. Barbara did not get rich.
No. You prefer this.
I've had to put so many.
Yep. Just roll better.
I'm trying. One more round. Okay. Whose turn is it?
Do you want to start this one? I think I
Okay.
started the last one.
Okay. I am absolutely wanting to see what happens to the gays. And I think Jemima, who has Sardinitis, has inherently given it to Professor Mermaid because as is Chaos, they've kissed.
Yes.
And using whatever's in the art building, all of the supplies, Professor Mermaid and Jemima are going to collaboratively start a lab, a research lab to try and, like, find a cure.
Okay. Where are they doing that? Because they're still trapped, aren't they?
They're trapped inside the art building now.
Okay, so everyone's kind of the art building.
Yeah, that's what
okay.
I said. Yeah. So that's what the dice signifies. This table is not strong and stable. The physical land Icarus sits on has begun to erode or change beneath it, leaving parts of the city inaccessible to one another. What important area is now completely isolated, and what ramification does that have on the rest of the city? We've had that before.
I think water levels are rising.
I think it's to the point where, like, bits are detaching on the edges of it. Like, houses are fully, like, getting thrown into the water and stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe the people building the underneath those, where was it gone?
The where is it?
Was it gone?
Where'd it go?
Where'd it go? It's going to be underneath there, isn't it? Or something. Oh, pod homes.
Yeah.
It's here. I think this has added weight onto the structure.
Yeah.
And so there's flooding happening on top of the city now.
Yeah.
So this is going to go over there. And what am I doing? Flooding.
Right, less aggressively.
Okay, flooding. What important area though? So where is the flooding happening?
Where are people most likely to be doing it? I think potentially the places that has all the potato divers equipment, where they also have the sanitation equipment.
Flooding of the sanitary station.
Storehouses or station or whatever. It works.
I'm so scared.
Well, yeah, this is mostly a you problem.
That's how you build a civilization, by blaming me.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I will say it's mostly Dave Boris as well. So
Yes, that's true.
I suppose that's my issue. Okay, so I think
Dave Boris is gonna fucking succeed. You can help and add a die here.
That's
that means
true.
that I roll with 2 dice instead of 1.
yes. So I think
If they both fail though, this tower's coming down.
yes, I think Jemima utilizes all of her research to try and find a way to reverse the effects.
Yeah. In one big last hurrah.
Yes. Okay.
I'm so stressed.
Okay. A terrible natural disaster hits the city, destroying important buildings and killing citizens.
Jesus Christ.
What kind of disaster was it, and who or what is impacted the worst? So I think I'm going to change it up here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Lightning storm.
Yeah. If it's killing citizens, it has to be like a residential area.
Yes.
Which means that people have lost not only food, but now have lost housing
Yes,
security
and so
as
they're
well.
just like the people who survive are just in the government area now because it's more central.
It's like a
so-
constant riot.
Yeah.
We had this thing in France called Night Standing Up. That's what it was called. It had a better name in French. And basically it's young people would inhabit like important places in Paris and like around France. And they would stay there the entire night.
Yeah.
And basically it wasn't...
Like a sit-in.
Yeah, it was a sit-in.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Not
But,
stand
like,
up, it was a sit-in.
but it was like a huge one with lots of like hundreds of thousands of people kind of relaying one another.
Yeah.
So the people would come in at 2 a.m. and then people would leave at 2 a.m. and then people would come in at 7 to pick
Yeah.
up on it. It was like an organised thing.
Yeah.
So this can be what's happening. Right, less aggressively. If you make my tower fall. Anxious writing.
Mm-hmm. It's like trying to barely touch the page.
That's what happened there. Okay, so this can
That's my
go
pen. I don't know why I
up
gave it
there with the riots that had calmed down the riots.
to you. Yeah. And that kind of goes there, so I'll put it.
Someone is going to, at some point, have to look into what Sardinitis is. But since Dave Boris is trying to bring down Icarus,
Yeah.
I don't think he would.
No.
And so I think that...
What's Barbara doing? What is?
Because the thing is, Barbara's in deep shit now.
Yeah.
Like, Barbara is in the hands of the police.
Is Barbara gonna sell out Dave Boris?
Will Barbara sell out Dave Boris? That's the dice. No, her husband.
She doesn't care.
She doesn't
She's
care.
in prison.
She doesn't care, she's in jail. Self-preservation.
Oh, you need a card.
Yes. Terrible pollution has poisoned a basic necessity. What is now in short supply and why? These people are not having a good time.
No. Well, it makes sense because they are all in like the government area anymore. They're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could be the water filtration system. It's got too much pressure behind it now. Trying to in a concentrated area.
Yeah. That is just what it is.
Yeah. There's no food. There's no water.
There's no food,
Big fuck.
there's no water, there's no homes left.
Yeah. This is quickly falling apart. This is all Dave Boris's fault.
Exactly. This is level 3.
What you're writing?
Water. Filtration. Broken. This can go all the way up there. I'm scared.
Okay, my dice.
Yeah.
One of
Final
my
dice. Shut up.
I think so. Dave Boris
Dave Boris is now
doing very well right now.
I was going to say Dave Boris is now at basically the president.
Yeah. So
That's how popular Dave Boris is at the moment.
Yes. So I think
he's been like filmed giving out food to homeless people. He's like made a whole press conference to like say how sorry he feels and how they're going to unlock like a specific like money pot for them and stuff.
I think the important thing though for Dave Boris right now is because so many things are failing, there's riots constantly.
Yeah.
Dave Boris is going to focus on making something to save himself for sure.
Right.
A boat that is his own, that he can get away with.
Yes.
When needed.
Very good. Okay, card. And then we'll roll some dice.
Okay. In a desperate attempt to obtain the dwindling resources of the people of Icarus, a nearby civilization has been raided. They declare war in response and send an army marching towards Icarus. Well, they won't be marching.
No.
What resources were they intending to steal, and what makes the responding army so intimidating? So I think it's part of this one. It's the nearby village.
Yeah.
But it's like a coalition of villages.
Okay.
Because
they're really tired of Icarus's bullshit.
Yeah, because people are going through the barricades, even though they've already set up them as a threat and a warning. And so they are coming back, and what are they doing? What makes their army so intimidating? I think it's that they use like fire.
That is intimidating.
That is pretty intimidating.
Yeah.
When your houses are already dwindling, you've got very little left. Fire can take it all out.
Cool. So the fire people.
Everything had changed before the fire.
Yeah, the Fire Nation is truly not responsible when it's going down. Dave Boris though.
Village coalition.
Yep.
How do you spell coalition?
Yep. No. Just one L. Yeah.
That's an I.
Be careful with your writing. Please. Your hand is so close to my building. Look at me doing all of the heavy lifting building this temple though.
Yes, you are.
You've truly done
nothing.
nothing.
I've contributed 2 whole blocks.
We're getting attacked. No one's gonna want to defend us.
No, we're not. We weren't. Truly, what is left?
Nothing. Okay.
Even the algae paintings. I mean, this is meant to be a strength, but
Barbara's in jail.
And any paintings that were made are underwater.
Yep.
Okay, dice rolling time.
Dice ring time.
Do you want to do the important one first?
Yes. Let's do one each.
Okay, drama.
We've got 2 chances.
Yes.
Of Jemima and the professor finding a cure.
Yes.
For Sardinitis. If they lose,
You gonna kill Jemima?
I'm not gonna kill the lesbian. You will have to do it.
I think if they lose, Jemima goes into a coma.
If they lose, they both become mermaids and go and
If they
escape
lose-
Icarus and go into
How
the
about this?
sea.
If they lose, Professor Mermaid gets Sardinitis too. Jemima's still
We
carrying
have
on.
just assumed that Professor Mermaid
No,
has
you've
had it.
assumed that.
Okay, sure. So
You
no, it
specifically
needs to
gave
be worse.
Jemima
It needs to be worse.
Sardinitis.
I think Jemima has started to transform if it
Okay.
loses. So we've got one more chance of saving her life.
Okay, yes. But then the next chance is the last chance.
I know.
Okay, let's go. I was gonna say, watch my luck fail me now.
The lesbians.
Wow, can't believe the universe.
The
is
universe has
saying
murdered
bury
the
your
lesbians.
days. It's fine, they're not dead yet. They're just a bit fishy.
Don't make me laugh. Before I have to do this intricate tower making.
Okay. They're getting along swimmingly.
Your turn.
Okay, so Dave, on a success,
Uh-huh.
builds his boat ready to get away at a moment's notice.
Okay.
On a failure, people
Gets
find
Sardinitis.
out. No, I don't know. He should already have Sardinitis by all logic. Get Sardinitis and people find out he was trying to escape. Both. Double bad.
Okay.
Double bad for Dave.
Double bad if he fails. Come on, Dave. You've made
is gonna be
all
where I
of
succeed
them.
again, isn't it?
Yes. Fucking Dave, my
Dave!
dude. Ugh. Wait, we've not added aspects for Jemima and Prof.
Yes.
What's happened to them?
So Professor has Sardinitis 2.
Jemima and Prof. Sardine, bad. It's worse.
Yeah. They're just...
They've got one more chance because I don't want them better than
They're like, you know, the H2O mermaids?
Yes.
When they get a touch of water and they suddenly can't move because
Yes.
their legs have just given out. Their legs have given out.
Okay.
They
sure.
can't see each other anymore through the window.
But they were together.
Oh no, they were in a
They
lab
won,
together.
yeah.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Uh,
Do Dave fucking winning today. Dave has built a boat to save himself.
Yeah.
The arsehole. And has continued to successfully hide Sardinitis. Or hide his involvement with the fact that it's not getting treated at all.
Yes.
Like, there's no...
Also, I'm going to tell you this. It's going to upset you. Dave's got potatoes ready.
Shut up, Dave.
On
Fuck you, Dave.
On his
Wallace.
boat, he's got enough potatoes to last him like a year.
This is my villain origin story. Watching Dave win. What about Barbara?
All right.
Okay, Barbara.
We want Barbara to succeed this time.
What did I say about Barbara?
Barbara is turning on Dave to save her own skin.
Ooh. Okay, success. Barbara manages to bring some heat on Dave.
And lift it off herself.
Yeah.
So
Failure.
she's under like house arrest rather than in jail.
Yeah. Failure. Barbara incriminates herself with something even worse.
Yes.
And
Get Sardinitis.
gets Sardinitis as well.
I mean, it's everywhere at this point.
Success!
Yes!
Fuck you, Dave. Yes! Okay, Dave is now...
A suspect.
Yes.
Watch it.
But he is ready to go.
He is ready to go, so, you know. If he feels the change coming, the tide changing.
Yeah, he'll definitely go.
So, yes. Okay, so, next for me.
Yeah.
You gotta put a dice on Professor and Jemima.
Yeah.
Continuing their research.
Please, they have to win.
They dropped stuff, they're changing their strategy, they're figuring out other things, alternative ways to solve it. Yeah.
We're fully ignoring the war going on.
Yes.
Good.
They're in the right.
They are. Icarus needs to go. I am going to... No, it has to be... I need the lesbians to survive.
Can we just do 2? Can we do 3?
We can do 3.
Okay.
I don't know. No, because we're meant to be 1 character each, but we can do 3. I don't care.
That's true.
Does Barbara have a good reason to support? Does Dave?
Well, Barbara could.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I'm gonna prove how great I am by contacting one of the few people I know is intelligent. And also by help solve this, it'll absolve me.
Yeah, that's true.
So throwing the heat on someone else and then also then gonna try and make herself out to be the savior. The same tactic that Dave Boris used at the start.
Yeah.
She's gonna reutilize.
Okay, I'm going to put this here for Barbara.
Yeah.
We need 3 cards.
Oh yeah, damn. Oh, straight after each other.
Yep.
All right. Did you start or did I start? I started.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so number 1. Another city has risen up to rival Icarus in the region and citizens are leaving to live there instead.
Makes
What
sense.
city is it and what specific resource or technology does it have that Icarus doesn't? They just have food.
And homes.
Yes.
It's a smaller city, so it's managed to actually be good at engineering.
Yes, so I think the village coalition that's attacking, people have gone, you don't actually have to kill us, we're on your side. It's not working and that's why we're here. And so I think because the villagers don't want to be bigger either, they're actually just helping them set up their own little villages.
Yep.
And they're working together and it's really nice and that's how the war's going.
Yes. Very good about the war.
Very good about the war. People are just being good
There you
people. This disaster has been helpful. Okay,
It's given all of the rioters a way out, which is great.
that looks like feed, but it's close enough.
Okay, my turn. With many of the city's dwindling resources still going to the continuous building of the tower, a plot emerges to sabotage its construction. What is the plan and what group is leading it? Okay, so I think this is the people who started to build their homes underneath it, who are causing the flooding. I think they need like more of the same material that the tower's built out
Yes.
of, and so have started to like Guy Fawkes
Yeah.
plan a whole like explosion.
Yeah.
It's here. It's those people.
Yeah. Okay. And this one. A prominent invention, tool, or technology suddenly becomes dangerous to the citizens using it. What is it and why is it a danger? I think it's going to be like some of their building tools. So it's not just algae rope anymore, it's all rope. It's becoming a danger. I know it's not an invention. I mean, it's a tool in some ways, I guess. It's a resource.
Yeah.
We'll use it, it's fine. And so all rope is becoming dangerous. That's from there, that's been around them. And so their entire city could be lethal to them.
That's really good.
And they can't distinguish between it yet. They have no way of knowing which one is the diseased rope.
Yep. There we go. And that can go here.
You can put it over here, I think. So what am I saying? All rope bad now.
All rope, potential sardinitis.
Infected.
Yeah. I've got 1 dice left.
Does that mean you can only...
No.
I mean, you only need 1 more for this round. Will we survive another one?
I doubt it. Okay. So Barbara's now here. Oh no, so it's your turn.
Oh yeah. Okay, so what's Dave Boris doing?
Dave is a suspect now.
Dave is a suspect.
Dave has finally got someone doubting his allegiance.
I think Dave is trying to join a village.
Ooh.
And is trying to pretend he's been working towards getting people to be more responsible with it, and is trying to talk to like the head of the village coalition to essentially get power there whilst
Icarus goes to shit.
Yeah, before the knowledge of him becomes
yeah,
public.
so put it here, I guess.
Okay, the culture of Icarus has changed. What are people doing now that they weren't before, and how is it impacting the city? I think before people were very diligent about fixing the city, but because everyone's scavenging it now to build villages, it means that more and more pieces are falling off.
Yeah.
And detaching, and before people are ready to scavenge those materials, they're drifting off and falling out because someone's taken 1 bit of rope, someone's pulled out 1 bit of wood, and it's just all crumbling.
It's a Jenga city now, and people used to be really careful which bit of the Jenga they were taking away, and now they aren't at all anymore.
They would take a piece out, replace a piece immediately.
Yeah.
But now people are just pulling out pieces.
Incredible.
Okay.
Jengification.
Jengification. I'm just gonna leave it as that. But that goes here. Okay, so we'll roll 1 each for the lesbians, and then
You
if
can
it
roll
fails,
2.
You've got to save us.
Come on, lesbian gods, please. In all that is Janelle Monáe and Kate Blanchett, Tess Thompson. Yes, the bisexuals are also lesbians. Please. In all that in all that is sacred, in the rainbow. The rainbow betrayed me.
We didn't say what happens if it fails, but I think it
We
means
know
the
what
lesbians
happens if
die.
it fails.
The lesbians are dead.
No, you know why?
Why?
Because the city's gonna crumble exactly at that moment. And Dave is gonna fucking eat shit.
Do you want to put yours on first, and then I'll put my 2 on?
Why is it so stable? It needs to not be.
Dave Boris did a good job of building this society.
Dave Boris has built the most...
Stop talking. You're making it move.
Yes! It's not me killing the lesbians, it's Dave Boris!
Dave Boris did kill the lesbians.
Canon.
The moment where everything's falling away and they have their last moment together.
Yes.
They get that.
It's Rogue One.
Yes.
Spoilers for Rogue One.
It's been out a million years, it's fine.
Now we have to answer the question. Why did the tower fall? What was the thing that made it crash and burn?
I think the pod homes became part of the villagers that were going away. And so those two combining was pulling everything out of here. And that was in the centre of the city. So without that, it just ripped apart, essentially.
It's like when you're building a bridge, the arcs of the bridge that you're resting everything on, that got damaged by the weight of the pod homes. And so now the actual foundational basis of the temple crumbled. What happened to the characters?
Well, we know Professor and Jemima.
Professor and Jemima, I'm not going to say it. They lived happily ever after in the mermaid paradise.
Maybe they mastered the art of just swimming with their face out of water so they could breathe.
They're good enough to do that.
They're just living.
They're sardining away in the sea.
Sure, yes. Maybe they become complete fish and then get caught by other villagers and then they just become the food. I take it back. They're mermaids and they're living happy ever after underwater. They find an underwater city, a truly underwater city.
Atlantis.
They find Atlantis and they live there together.
Incredible, yes. That's what they're
happens.
doing.
Dave is fine.
Dave has fully gone to build Icarus 2.0
with his
new village people.
Year worth of potatoes. Nope. 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 Yes, with his year's worth of potatoes that probably have sardinitis in them, and so he will create another society doomed to fail.
Correct. Second lockdown.
Yes.
And Barbara absolutely does not have the skills to get out.
No. She's just looking for Dave.
Yeah.
Dave has already left.
Yes. Dave has abandoned her.
Dave didn't even look back.
Dave truly does not care about Barbara.
Dave didn't even know that she turned him in.
Dave fully never actually learned
her last name.
that she was in jail. Like, Dave didn't know.
Yeah, Dave was just like spending time on his boat.
Exactly.
And was just getting it all cozy. And when he's been away for a few days and his boat is a mess, we'll be like, why the fuck is Barbara not cleaning it up?
Dave, how have we saved the worst man? Incredible.
We've done it.
We've done it.
That was Icarus.
Uh-huh.
We didn't answer the final question. Because that will be answered in the next part when we play The Quiet Year. Thanks for watching. You can check out our Patreon. That's what it's called. This was good.
You can't end with "this was good" in it.
Alright, I apologise. This was fun, innit? I'm Ambereen. This is A. Watch more of our stuff, please.
Thank you for coming on this incredible journey to do with algae rope originally.
And sea potatoes.
And sea potatoes. Sea potatoes.
Sea potatoes.
Very good. But yeah, tune in next week to find out what happened after the civilization fell. Bye!